there, King's kids. I'm so glad you are joining us again today, members of God's royal family. Our topic today is about Abram, and it is called Ready to Help. You can read the story in Genesis chapter 14. Anyway, let's get on with it.
I'm a king's kid. My father is the king over everything. So I will sing the song, 'cause I know that I belong to the king of the universe. I'm a king's kid. Yes, I'm a king's kid. My father is the king over everything. So I will sing the song, 'cause I know that I belong to the king of the universe. He gives me peace that passeth all understanding, the joy that overflows. Isn't it just totally amazing, the love that my Father shows? I'm a king's kid, yes, I'm a king's kid. My Father is the king over everything. So I will sing this song, 'cause I know that I belong to the king of the universe. I'm a king's kid, yes, I'm a king's kid. My father is the king over everything. So I will sing this song, 'cause I know that I belong to the king of the universe. So I will sing this song, 'cause I know that I belong to the king of the universe. So I will sing this song, 'cause I know that I belong to the king of the universe.
God has a message for you today. He calls you to serve one another with love and with a grateful heart.
Let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. Matthew 6:16.
He calls you to see and walk with the lonely or lost.
Do nothing out of selfishness or pride. In humility, value yourself, not looking at your own interests, but the interests of others. Philippians 2:3-4.
He calls you to serve through sharing the good things, the simple things He has blessed you with.
And do not forget to do good and to share with others. Hebrews 13:16.
He wants you to do something special for someone every day without the need for a reward.
Be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, as God in Christ forgave you. Ephesians 4:32.
God calls us to serve others, and in the small things we can make the biggest difference. We can give the world a glimpse of the love our God gives us.
Serve one another in love. Galatians 5:13.
Will you serve others out of love?
Hi everyone, my name is Nurse Betty. One of the things I love to do is to teach boys and girls how to stay healthy. Today, I'd like to talk with you about your heart. Your heart is a muscle, and its job is to pump blood throughout your circulatory system. Blood carries oxygen and other important nutrients that all body organs need to stay healthy and to work properly. So the heart is very important. The beating sound that your heart makes is caused by the opening and closing of its valves. Your heart is about the size of your fist, and it is basically a big pump which works every minute of every day. You don't have to think about making it work though. Your brain does this for you. Your heart pumps blood which collects oxygen from your lungs and nutrients from the digestive system and sends it out to all parts of your body. When it has delivered the oxygen and nutrients to all the cells, it comes back for more. Blood with oxygen in it is red, but if you look at your wrists, you will notice that the veins are blue. That is the blood that is returning to be refilled with oxygen. When your body is at rest, it takes 6 seconds for the blood to go from your heart to your lungs and back again. It takes 8 seconds for it to go to your brain and back, and 16 seconds for it to go all the way around, down to your toes and back. If you want to feel how fast your heart is beating, put your finger on the side of your wrist or throat. This is your pulse. Get the stopwatch out and see how many times it beats in a minute. For a child, it should beat around 75 to 100 times per minute. So check out how fast your heart is beating when you are resting and after you've done some exercise. To keep your heart healthy, you need to do at least 30 minutes every day of cardiovascular exercise. That means exercise that makes your heart beat faster. Most importantly though, King's Kids, Jesus wants to live in your heart. He wants to be the center of all that we do. Why don't you invite Jesus to come and live in your heart today? Because King's Kids, remember that Jesus loves you. Take care of your body and take care of each other.
Good afternoon, King's Kids. My name is Professor I.R. Weiss, and today I'm going to show you something amazing. My assistant Hans and I just love doing experiments. Today we're going to be doing an experiment called ice fishing. Are you there, Hans? Hans? Where are you, Hans? The boys and girls are waiting out here for us to start. Hans? Are you ready? Oh, there you are, Hans. Why is Eddie here, Hans? I said, are you ready? Not bring Eddie. Thanks for coming anyway, Eddie. Always good to see you. If you like, you're welcome to stay and watch.
Thank you, Professor Eyes. I would love to stay and watch.
Very good. Now, Hans, we're going to do the ice fishing experiment today. For this experiment, we will need a small dish with some water in it. Yes, very good, Hans. Thank you. Now we need some string. Hans, what are you doing? What do you have there? Why do you have a ring? I asked for some string, not a ring. Please go and put the ring back and bring me some string. Yes, that's right. Very good, Hans. The next thing we need are some ice cubes. Thank you, Hans. Now the last thing we need is some salt. What have you got there, Hans? I asked for some salt, not a bolt. Please go and put it back. That could be important. Very good, Hans. Now we have all of our equipment. We are ready to go. Now, boys and girls, ordinary water freezes at 0 degrees Celsius or 32 Fahrenheit. But when you add salt to the water, it lowers the freezing point. So it gets much colder than that. So Hans, What are you doing, Hans? Why are you sewing? What do you mean I told you to sew? Let me think, what did I say? I said, are you ready to go? Not are you ready to sew? Please put your sewing away and we can begin our experiment. I must say, Hans, you are very good at sewing. I may need your help to sew up a hole in my old shirt later. So, Hans, please place the ice cubes in the dish of water. Yes, that's right, Hans. Now please lay the piece of string across the ice cubes. Make sure that the string is touching all of the ice cubes. Now sprinkle salt across the string wherever it touches the ice. Watch as the ice melts slightly and then refreezes. Yes, that's right, Hans. You're doing a great job. Now we wait for 10 seconds for the string to catch the ice. Let's count to 10. Hey Eddie, can you help me count to 10?
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Thank you, Eddie. Very nice counting. Now, Hans, we are ready to see if you have caught any ice fish. Please lift up the string and see what happens. Would you look at that, boys and girls? The ice cubes have attached to the string. We have actually caught some ice. I love ice fishing. The salt we sprinkled on the ice cubes lowered its freezing temperature. And since the ice cube couldn't get any colder than it already is, it started to melt. A little pool of water formed on the top of the ice cube, and the string sunk into it. As the ice cube melted, it diluted the water and salt combination in the little pool. The freezing temperature then started to go back up again. The ice then refroze, trapping the string. So as soon as the ice cube hardened, we were able to raise them by lifting the string. This reminds me of our story today. Abram heard that his nephew Lot had been captured by some enemies. Abram and his men went to rescue Lot and all the things that the enemies had stolen. With God's help, like adding salt to the ice and string in our experiment today, Abram was able to do this. Just like we were able to fish the ice cubes out of the water. Well, thank you, Hans and Eddie, for your help today. King's Kids, thanks for joining us today. We will see you all next time.
Hello, boys and girls. It's Granny Grace here again with another story from God's special book. Do you remember Abram, the man who listened to God? Abram had many exciting adventures with God during his life. One adventure happened when Abram went to rescue his neighbours. It happened like this. The land where Abram lived had lots of cities, and each city had a king. Some of the kings were powerful and lived in big cities, but some of the kings only ruled over small cities. One day, 4 powerful kings came together and decided they wanted to be even more powerful. They decided to attack 5 small cities. Sodom was one of the 5 small cities, and guess who lived there? Abram's nephew Lot. The 4 powerful kings and their armies marched against the city of Sodom. The soldiers inside the city fought back, but they only had a little army. The army of the 4 kings was too strong. They captured the people and tied them up in a long line. Lot and his family were tied up too. They gathered up all the animals into one big herd. Then they began to march the people and the animals back to their own land. Lot was sad. His wife was crying. Lot was discouraged, but there was nothing he could do. He was a captive now. But one person was not a captive. When the enemy army had come, one man had escaped the city and run as fast as he could to get away. And where did he run? He ran to Abram. "Abram," he said, panting hard, "I have very bad news. The 4 powerful kings have attacked Sodom and taken everyone captive. I alone escaped." Abram could have said, "Too bad, so sad," but he didn't. He wanted to help. Quickly he gathered his servants and began to chase the armies of the 4 powerful kings. One night, at a place called Dan, Abram and his servants mounted an attack. The 4 kings were so surprised they ran for their lives, leaving all the people and animals behind. The captives were freed, and they began the long journey back home. No tears this time, just singing and laughter and joy. Abram was pleased. He was happy that he could serve others. Boys and girls, you may not ever have to chase an army, but you can serve your friends and neighbours in other ways. How will you serve this week?
Today's Bible verse comes from Galatians chapter 5, verse 13. Serve one another in love.
Hi, my name's Ella. And I'm Zayne. And today we're going to be making some mint lemon juice, a very King's Kid special. The things that you'll need are some water, sugar, lemons, cups, mixing utensil, some mint and some ice. And, of course, a jug. First, you're going to add your mint. Zayne, would you like to add the mint for me?
Yeah.
For the amount that we're making, we need about 5 bunches. Save some of your leaves for the garnish on the top later. It's already smelling really good. Now that you've finished putting on the mint, you'll need to put some ice. Zayne, would you also like to put the ice on?
Yeah.
Now we're going to make the lemon juice. We've already got 5 lemons already cut up. Now we're going to squeeze it into the jug. Now that we've finished making our lemon juice, we're going to add it to the jug. Now we are going to add 2 jugs of water. Now you're going to stir it up. Now we are going to add our sugar. Each lemon is worth 1 tablespoon of sugar. We used 5 lemons, so we would use 5 tablespoons of sugar. Zayne, can you count for me?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Now that you've added your sugar, we're going to stir it. Now you've made your very own mint lemon juice. This reminds us that Jesus wants us to serve others out of love. It's been a hot day today. I wonder if there's anyone that wants a drink.
Hey, Ella, there's John and Rob.
Oh, yeah! Hi, Rob.
Hello. Oh, I'm thirsty.
Hey, oh, this looks good. It's hot outside.
Very hot.
Would you guys like a drink?
Yes, please.
Sure would.
Done a good job, Bella.
Thank you. Serving people out of love is so fun. Why don't you go and try it?
Well, Andy, there were a lot of big words in that passage today. How about we try and put it into our own words? I'll start, but first, let's pray. Dear God, please guide us. Thank you. Our reading today came from Genesis chapter 14. Lots of kings from different countries joined forces and fought against each other until eventually some of them attacked Sodom and Gomorrah and took everything, including Abram's nephew Lot.
A man who had escaped told Abram what happened. When Abram heard about his relative being taken, he took 318 trained men born in his house and went in pursuit. During the night, he divided his men and recovered all the goods and possessions that had been taken, along with Lot and the other people. Abram returned from defeating the kings. Then Melchizedek, oh wow, that's a hard name to say.
Yep.
He was the king of Salem. He also was a priest of God. So he blessed Abram. The king of Sodom told Abram to give him the people and keep the goods. But Abram said, I have sworn an oath to the Lord. I will accept nothing belonging to you. That way you can't tell the people that you made me rich. So Abram took nothing. Wow, Shane, that was an interesting story.
Sure was.
Let's do the Discovery Bible questions.
Okay.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what they bring out of this.
Oh, me too.
What's new?
Well, Andy, what's new for me is that Abram only had 318 soldiers against 12 kings and all their armies.
Yeah, he was kind of outnumbered, but they must have known what they were doing and had God on their side.
Yeah, I agree there. So what surprises you, Andy?
Well, I'm surprised that Abram took nothing for all his troubles.
Yeah, Abram just served without the need for reward. He was just happy to help in God's name.
Serving without reward is an interesting concept. What don't you understand?
All those big names and places, Andy.
Yeah, that's for sure, Shane. But you know, we can give the names a go and ask for assistance when we can't pronounce them.
Yeah, I guess we could do that. Hey, Andy, what will you obey and apply?
I'm thinking that I'm going to try and apply that interesting concept from before. The one about serving without reward.
Well, Andy, I've got a job for you. Now, did you want to dig my garden? Grandpa said I have to have it dug before the end of the day.
Oh, Shane, I'm talking about serving others that need it, not doing slave labour for you. But I am happy to help you dig Mrs. Turner's garden down the road. I think she could do with a hand, and we won't ask for any payment.
Good plan, Andy.
Yeah, we'll work out a time. What will you share with someone this week?
What I'm going to do this week, Andy, is to look for someone who needs help and help them without any reward and share through my actions what I have learnt today.
Oh, okay, Shane. I'll help you dig Arnie's garden as well.
Thanks, Andy. Glad you came over today.
Well, let's pray to finish.
Okay.
Dear God, thank you for your word. Help us to follow you. Amen.
Amen.
Hey, let's get into that garden, Shane.
Yeah, well, yeah, you go and I'll be there in a sec.
Yeah, righto.
Lord, today I choose to follow you. So take me and shape me, mold me and make me, so all I do is kind and true. Lord, I want to be more like you. Lord, today I choose to follow you. So take me and shape me, mold me and make me, so all I do is kind and true. Lord, I want to be more like you.
Today I again choose to follow Jesus. I really want to be more like Jesus in everything I do. What about you, King's Kids? Have a think about how you can serve your friends and neighbours. Abram served without reward. He helped because it was the right thing to do. So look around and see what you can do too, King's Kids, and always be ready to help. Anyway, King's Kids, it's time to go now. I will look forward to catching up with you all again next time. So take care, stay safe, and God bless.
So I will sing the song, 'cause I know that I belong to the King of the universe. He gives me peace that passeth all understanding, the joy that overflows. Isn't it just totally amazing, the love that my Father shows? I'm a King's kid, yes, I'm a King's kid. My Father is the King over everything. So I will sing this song, 'cause I know that I belong to the King of the universe. I'm a King's kid, yes, I'm a King's kid. My Father is the King